research and development. A scientific activity to gain knowledge without any predetermined thought. Now, very first time touch system in the phone came introduced by which company?
Samsung.
Samsung is the first one or the iPhone? Touch.
iPad.
iPhone only, even before iPad, iPhone only came up with that technology. No? So, before they really introduced that product to the market, behind the screen, within their company, a team would be sitting and doing a research on this. That time, they didn't have any thought that we are going to come up with this type of a device in the market. Until that point or time, it reached us to decide, okay, now we have a successful product, we then can bring to the market. Then an additional cycle of tests will be done. What I am trying to say, this total research, this total activity, I will divide into two. During this period, people just perform certain tests, certain research. And here they come up with some conclusive decision that we can market this product or bring this product to the market. And this time we call it research phase. And once you decide, okay, now we have a product called Apple iPhone 1, we need to bring it to market, then you have to perform something called development phase.
Phase, what's meaning this phase?
It's like a stage, step, stage, level, anything. There are two types of research. There are two types of research. One is, we call it pure. Can someone tell me what could be the second type of research? Anyone who has studied double mens, they know this.
Apply.
Exactly. Applied research. Pure research and applied research. Development, once you complete the development, then that becomes an asset. Now we will talk about development. An activity.
Research plus what are the two? Pure and applied.
Pure and applied. An activity which will make sure an intangible asset will be to the market. And intangible asset will be introduced to the market. Provided following conditions are you should satisfy all the conditions. One or two conditions satisfying, it's not enough. Technical feasibility, meaning, let's say you introduce a blender to the market. What is a blender? That makes juice, and then sometimes we blend coconut. So when you search this blender, and when you put apple, for example, you want to make a juice, what happens is that when you switching on, that blast. Every time, you remember Samsung Note 8, 4 or 5 years before in Doha, Samsung Note 8 came to market. And whoever purchased this device, they have asked them to bring back. And then they gave another new device, another Samsung Note 8. Then after 2 months, again a notice came, bring back the device, we will give you the cash. And also every airport specifically mentioned, you cannot take Samsung Note 8 and travel because there was a risk that the battery may blast. So there is no technical feasibility in that product. So for you to say, my development of this product to be successful, and for you to call this as an intangible asset, that should satisfy the technical feasibility. Number 2. It's not only about technical feasibility, it's also about market feasibility. You should be able to sell the product in the market. People should be keen to buy, and people are keen to invest on the product. Clear? So that is the second condition. Third one. Management intention. The management should be willing to complete the development. If not, no use. After all, you find out technical feasibility tick, market feasibility tick, but start 2 months later, management comes and says, no, we don't want to do this. Then you cannot say that it is an intangible asset. Fourth condition. Sufficient resources should be available for you to complete the development. When you say resources, that includes many different types of resources. Financial resources, cash, human resources, people, infrastructure, required machines, space, office, everything.
Sufficient meaning select enough. Enough.
Enough.
Meaning is like enough.
Enough means,
Yeah,
sufficient means enough. Yes. Required amount of, let's say, I need 1 million investment. So you should have 1 million cash. Clear? So that's the fourth condition. Fifth condition. Understand this? Yes or no?
Added value. Added value, right?
You can say that, especially let's say if I can sell this for 20 riyal, the cost should not be 22 riyal.
Lesser than.
The cost must be less than the benefit that I will get. Sales or income should be more than the cost that I incur. In this situation, one special point here, let's say my cost $1 million. My benefit $800,000. What will I do now? What you should do, you should split this into two. 800,000 and 200,000. This you consider as intangible asset, and this you consider as
Yes, sir. Or R&D are not included.
exactly. I'm coming to the next point about that only. Is that so far this all clear now? So how many conditions? 5 conditions are there for you to decide whether this is a development expenditure or not. Once you completely satisfy all these 5 conditions, then you decide, okay, this is a development expenditure, is an intangible asset. If not, you just simply consider that as an expense. Now we talk about accounting treatment. The research expenditure, accounting treatment is very simple. Simply treat that as an expense and take this to profit and loss account. So write off to P&L. So what will be the double entry then? Debit, research, expenses which will go to P&L, credit, cash. Understand me?
Exceeding dental. Research exceeding dental.
Expenditure.
DATURE.
EXPENDITURE. Expenditure. development expenditure, if all 5 conditions are met, then capitalize as an intangible.
This grammar or what?
Hmm?
These two cases, grammar or what? And first one, they are percentile or research.
Research expenditure.
And why cash here? Why you
You see, you need to pay by cash, no? Any expenses, intangible flows. Some credit the cash. No?
cash?
Hmm.
This one row.
Yeah, exactly. So, development expenditure. If all 5 conditions are met, then what you do? You capitalize as an intangible asset. If not, what will you do? If not, write off to so if all conditions are satisfied, debit development expenditure as intangible asset, credit cash. If any conditions not met, any means even one condition not met, collapse. Then what you do? Debit development expenditure, and it should go to P&L as expenses, credit cash. So that's all about this is standard. Now can you try question from the book? Yeah. Yes, brother.
So now you told that the second part, that benefits is less than the cost.
This one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In the
In this case, if the cost is 1 million, benefit is 800,000. So you cannot capitalize 1 million.
Right.
You can only capitalize up to
800.
800,000. Balance 200,000. You will write property.
One of the 5 conditions.
Is to make sure benefit should exceed the cost. So in such a situation, your benefit should at least equal to
The
the cost.
cost. So that amount.
Not
Exactly.
So that amount you have to capitalize.
Yeah. Yes, you are going to ask me something. Alas, so let's go to the book now. Where is the book? Book is here.
Page number. Page number.
So these are the definitions which I have explained to you.
Page number.
Page number, sir. See the definition. An intangible asset is an identifiable non-monetary asset without physical substance. Research is an original and planned investigation undertaken with the prospect of gaining new scientific or technical knowledge and understanding. Development is in application of the research findings or other knowledge to a plan or design for the production of new or substantial input material, devices, product, process, systems or services prior to the commencement of commercial production or use. Amortization is the systematic allocation of the depreciable amount of an intangible asset over its useful life. We already know what the depreciable amount is, and we also know what you mean by useful life. Right, can we try this activity? Brother, you can stop the video and then